everyone, and welcome to another episode of Off the Hook with Matty D. I've had the fortunate time this summer to be out a number of times with my guest, and you're going to know who he is, right? To go for redfish. And he always says, Matty, fall is the time to go for redfish. Of course, I'm talking about my guest, my friend, Captain Simón Valencia. Captain Simón, how are you? So redfish in the summer has been great, but now we're looking ahead to fall.
Oh man, it's been just an incredible year. Just the year I've always dreamed of. I've been able to guide a whole lot more and stay on the water and stay on the trail of the fish and it's paid off big time. We've just had incredible days, day after day. And I can't wait to see what fall is like because usually fall is when we see the most fish. Water clears up. As soon as the temperatures begin to drop a little bit, those fish get into their really comfortable zone, which for red drum is anywhere between 55, I think, to like 80 degrees. They're pretty happy and active in that kind of water temperature. I'd say peak movement right around 65 to 70 is where they really love that temperature.
Right.
And we had a hot streak, dropped off and cooled off a little bit, and as soon as it cooled off a little bit, those fish started to light up again, and they're gonna fatten up before the winter, where they go pretty sedentary. They just kind of lay up in the wintertime.
So when we get from summer into fall, are you really looking for more reds that are in the grasses and they're tailing? Are we going singles? Because I know a lot of times in summer when I've been with you, we've done kind of either smaller pods or you've even found these gargantuan pods of fish, which has been incredible.
So this year has been a little different. I don't think the fish really spread out all that much this summer. They stayed in schools for the majority of it, and we've been finding a lot of like larger schools. Almost every day we've been finding larger schools of fish. That being said, usually summertime they spread out.
Okay.
And that's when we do really well on singles. And we have done well on singles, especially the last couple of weeks. We've been doing really well on singles. Singles is a hard game. It's really difficult, really technical, really visual. You single out a fish, you can watch him turn, you can watch him see or fly, you can watch him eat, you can watch him run. It's just a perfect visual experience. The schools is a treat because it's dessert. Getting into a school is just decadent. It's just so many fish. You're gonna get pulled on. You don't have to be deadly accurate. It gives you a little bit of forgiveness.
Yep.
But usually the summertime is when we see the singles, and then I feel like they pot up a lot more in the fall.
Okay.
And you start seeing bigger schools. So I have no idea how it's gonna go since we're seeing these massive schools.
You're just going to see sea of gold and red.
Yeah, I mean, it might just be that way. We might just keep these patterns. I don't know what's going to happen this fall. It's been an unusual year.
Right.
It's been a really unusual year where I've seen there's a trade-off when the fish are schooled up.
Okay.
And the trade-off is, okay, you're going to get less shots because the fish are schooled up. So if you have a school timed that at a certain tide it's coming through here and it's been doing it for weeks at a time, you wait for it and you hold off on it and you stand your ground a little bit and you just put your bet on the fact that
That school's coming.
It's gonna come at some point in that part of the tide where you've been seeing them, but you're not getting a ton of shots throughout the day unless you stay on that school.
Right. Which I have to say, that's one of the things you have done. While an angler like me, if we get into the school early and I put a fish on, I start fighting the fish. You're like, I know he can fight the fish. I don't have to worry about that. And you start polling to stay with the school or at least in shot so that when I get the fish, we take the quick picture, we release it, whatever. You're like, Matty, it's at 200 yards. I'm closing back in on it. And that's really kind of cool. So it turns red fishing into a little bit of another numbers game, which it typically isn't, as we talk about. It's,
Right.
If you get 5 shots to 10 shots on a normal redfish day, you're having a great day.
Right.
That's just a shot. That doesn't mean you're putting it to,
To the
to
boat.
line.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I always say, like, these fish, if you do everything right, most of them, close to every one of them, will take it.
Right.
If you make one mistake, if they're singles, they're not.
Right.
In a school, you can make some mistakes and still get it done. So I've been sitting in these areas that they have schools, they have singles, and we, depending on what the angler wants to do, we'll probably knock one out or two out of a school and then move on to chase the harder fish.
Right.
Because thankfully, I think my guests really get the fact that a fish out of a school is not worth the same as a single.
Yep.
The same way that a fish in a gill net, yes, you caught it, but it's not worth the same as if you caught it on tackle.
Right.
So it's not just about fish to hand; it's about
The experience, the hunt, the chase, all of that. Right.
the placement of the fly, how delicate it lands, where it lands, how fast do you strip, how long do you let it hang, like all of those moments that you get the reward for make the fish mean more. The harder, I truly believe, the harder the fish, the more it means.
I have a video which I took from you. I want to pull it up here.
There you go.
So you're
Good
seeing,
cast.
I believe,
Strip
this is the
hard?
school.
Yeah, it's on a school.
Oh, easy. Sit. There you go. Good work, dude. Oh,
That fish took off like a bat out of hell. Just
And he's
took
dancing
off.
around the line that's on the stern of the boat, or the bow of the boat, I should say. I mean, and of course, he does end up landing this fish, but I
And
mean,
then it ran right at him. This
there you
guy,
go.
top-notch angler,
Right.
a blast to have on the boat. Eric,
There you go, let him take
hope
that.
he's watching this, because he straight up got on the boat and he's like, man, I have a hard time seeing fish. And I'm like, okay, well, just trust me and we'll try to get it done. And he had a good day. He caught a couple fish, I think maybe 2 or 3.
Right.
All big fish, all really nice fish, but he couldn't see them. And I'm just like, all right, a little to the right, a little to the left, a little to the right. And he just would nail these like massive 70-foot casts right where they needed to go, and just ended up having a great day. But usually, and he's the only angler who I've ever had who had a hard time seeing the fish, who was able to just very precisely like point with the rod, and I'm like, shoot there now, and was very quick at doing so. And actually we found success. Usually we really need to get people to see the fish, which is part of what's exciting about the fall. The water clears up. The warm water suspends more of the muck.
right.
As the water cools down, the muck drops down and the water clears out quite a bit. So we see a lot more. So it's easier for the person who has a hard time seeing the fish to see the fish, but it also comes with a trade-off there, and it is, well, there's no muck between you and the fish, so the fish can see you too.
Right.
So there's only so close we can go. They become really wary of shadows. They don't get diffused by the softness of the they don't get diffused by the softness of the muck in the water. So there's trade-offs, but fall's exciting and challenging in its own way, but it's when the fish are moving the most, it's when we see the most fish, is when we have the best water clarity. It's when we have the most shots. It's when we can see the most fish.
Sure.
I take a lot of pride in being able to see fish.
Yeah. And I can tell a story about that, because we were on the boat a couple of weeks ago, and you're like, Matty, 100 feet. And I go, Simón, I don't see it, but you also know I can't hit 100 feet. And you're like, no, I know, but I'm just telling you. I go, okay. And you're like, 11 o'clock. So I point the rod. You're like, yes. And you're like, okay, 70 feet. I'm like, I know I can hit that. I'm like, I don't see it. I'm just trusting you. And I'm going the best I can. And you're like, you're on it. It's just not, didn't take. And it is what it is, So,
Yeah,
but there is a trust. Like as a client, I have to trust your eyes, and you give me direction, I'm going to do my best to make it happen.
And you do great with that. I always like to remind my guests, like, I'm on your team.
Right.
I'm your coach. I'm your cheerleader. I'm both. I'm your towel guy. I'm
I'm your picture taker.
you are the player. I'm your staff. That's what I'm here to do. Like, I just remember that I want this more than you want this. So that guy was just able to, I don't know. We usually don't find a lot of success if people can't see fish.
Right.
And this guy just got it done and got wrapped around the line, and that fish alone to me was worth the entire day because he just got.
At the end of the day, he's putting his hands up. I
Got a fish.
Exactly. No, that makes so much sense. I totally agree with that. You know, one of the things I've noticed this year is not only, I'm going to bring some pictures up here, are you finding reds and a good amount of them, but you're finding a lot of overslot reds. You're finding some big fish at times, like that right there. That is a beautiful looking fish.
Yeah, this one measured in at 26. I get a quick measurement just to know where we're at. We don't keep any fish, but
Right.
Elle, she's awesome to spend the day on the boat with. She's a tattoo artist. Just was able to get 3 fish that day. We didn't have the technical experience to go hunt singles, so we found.
You found fish.
We found some schools, and we were able to pop.
And at the end
a
of the day,
few.
she still had a great day.
100%.
And that's, you know, I mean, look, when I look at that picture and I see the smile, I mean, she's not showing teeth, but I know she's smiling. You can see, she's like, yeah, I did this, you know, because it is a feat. You know, I mean, every fish has a challenge, and I've tried a bunch, you know, and because of you, I've tried a lot of red fishing, and it is a really difficult, like more difficult than I ever thought it would be. Like, you know, I'm like, he's just saying that. I'm like, no, it really is, you know.
It's a challenge.
The precision and the casting and the distance that you have to get, and, you know, and I try and you also know where my limitations are, so you get me a little bit closer to really work with me. Like you said, you are my team, my coach, you know, so that's great.
And I absolutely love that aspect of it, you know, just being able to put someone in a special situation. That's really what I go out to do.
Right.
I love being in that situation, right? I love being on the bow of the boat, and I get to do it with Wayne, who we had on last week.
Yep.
I get to do it a bit with him, and we trade rod for pull, and we've just had amazing days. But there's days where he has booked me because he's like, I just want to be on the bow and remember why I do what I do. But it feels special to me, you know. To me, it's a special moment. It's a lot of work that goes on every end to get you to this moment, and it, you know, between the fueling and the food and the polling and the moving around and the looking around, and then you have this very narrow window, which it's usually 10 seconds, very narrow window where you're in range of the fish and you have to make that cast just right. And it's just life concentrated at that special moment, and it's special to me.
And you know, you mentioned one thing here, and I want to give you some props here. Every time I've been on the boat, and I don't consider myself a special client, and I think you treat everybody the same, and I've seen that. It is hospitality first. It's safety. It's, you know, it's the little bit of teaching. It's making sure they understand what we're doing. It's a very soft, gentle touch that you have in your voice, in your commands. There's no yelling. There's no disappointment in your eyes when
there's
something happens.
disappointment.
Well, but you, okay, with me sometimes, but you know, but
No,
you know,
not with you. With it, like,
but you know what I'm saying? Like, you really handle me and with other clients so well that you make us want to book you time and time again, because the experience is way above expectations, and that's what's awesome.
I appreciate that, Matty. I try really hard. I have lost. I mean, I'm not perfect. I've lost my mind on 2 people that did not deserve it. They were regulars, and when I say lost my mind, I yelled at one, "Come on, dude!"
But that's not losing your mind. It is to you, but it
is to
really
me.
isn't. I mean,
But I you know, it. I feel the pressure. I take my job very seriously, and I
course.
feel the pressure, and I know how rare the instances are that we are gonna get more than a few shots a day.
right.
So when one goes wrong, it breaks my heart, and I'm human, and it comes out sometimes. But generally speaking, I try to keep my cool, and and I remind myself, this person's already having a good time. I'm doing everything I can to show them a good time.
Yep.
It's not on me. The heartbreaker is if we don't catch a fish that day, and we've had the shots, it just breaks my heart because we had everything set up. But again, that is fishing. That is part of fishing, and I love fishing.
Sure. Absolutely.
Messing up is part of fishing. Missing shots is part of fishing. Tying knots is part of fishing, and having lunch on the boat is part of fishing. So, I have to remind myself that that's just one component.
Right.
And I have to just dial myself a little back sometimes. But I do get emotions run high,
Of course, because you don't know what the client's expectations are of you, and you want to make sure no matter what you exceed that. So when you are able to put that client on fish, in front of fish, you want them to finish that expectation of hook to fish, fish to hand, release fish.
Right.
And there are a few people that I had my shot. I get it. I messed up. No problem. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
It's me. And that's just, but there are some clients that are like, oh, you put me on 10 fish, but I didn't land one. But why didn't you land one?
Yeah.
Did you trout set? Did you do different things?
Or the worst story I hear is, "Oh, we skunked." It's like, that's not the whole story.
Yeah. Oh, but okay. What, what skunked to a client is I didn't put a fish to hand.
Right.
Whereas skunk to me, because I've been around the game a lot, is
We didn't
I didn't
get a
see
shot.
a fish at all.
Yeah.
If I saw 20 fish and I couldn't hit one, that's on me. That's on me.
Yeah, and the hard part is, dealing with, it's a reputation-based
Of course.
business, and the expectations, and
Yeah.
so I'm trying to manage that on all ends. So it does break my heart,
Right.
and I want the fish for the client the best, and there's the selfish part that wants that client to remember that day with me as
Yeah. I need to do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I did have a guy who is a very experienced angler on the boat last week, who is just a delight to have on the boat. Very good angler, and we had the best red fishing day I've ever had. I mean,
That's
teens
crazy.
of overslot redfish.
That's insane.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
And he got off the boat and he was like, "This is the best day of fishing I've ever had." I'm like, "Dude, you go all over the world." He was like, "This is the best day of fishing I've ever had." And I was like, I mean, it gave me the chills.
Right.
I've never had a day of fishing like that.
But you got to experience it with him, which is also kind of cool.
right, and it was nuts. It was nuts. And then I think the day that this picture was taken was also as good. It was within 2 days of that. So
Crazy. Next picture. I want people to understand exactly what goes on here. Okay, so yes.
dogs do not come on trips.
Right, dogs do not come on trips. But what I want people to understand is that is Simón on the stern of the boat, poling, and that's 22-foot pole or something, right?
Yeah, 21-foot pole.
21-foot pole. You're in shallows, and literally, and the reason why I bring this up, because I think people, we talk about poling, I'm not sure they fully get, this is something you would see in the Keys, and you brought that aspect of fishing to Virginia. In fact, Wayne, who we had on last week, when you first told him you were going to pole for redfish, you told me this story. His comment was to use, "Nobody's doing that. That's insane. It can't be done."
He did say it can't be done, but there were people who said it couldn't be done.
Okay, so Wayne didn't, but others did, right?
Yeah.
And here you are, many years later, doing it, perfecting the science, and I will tell you, I mean, I keep my watch on, and it says after we're done that I've walked 6 miles. I haven't walked. I've stayed at the bow of the boat. You know, maybe I've moved to the center of the console. Big deal. But I mean, so you're pulling 6 miles against wind, against tide, against current into. I mean, it is a tremendous workout. So you put in incredible work just to be able to get us silently to fish. And it's awesome, Simón. Really is. And I've always wanted to say that to you. That picture allows me to say it.
I appreciate it, Matty. This is me with my one good buddy. His name's Juan. Amazing fly tire. Incredible fly tire. He's from Colombia, lives in Miami. We were on vacation, and he came up for my vacation was him coming to visit me.
But that's awesome.
Oh, it was great. And we got to fish a few days, and we did pretty good. But we got to take the dogs out, and pressure was off, and it was just a fun time. But yeah, I love to pole.
Yeah.
I love to pole. I run a lot, and I try to stay in shape through the winter so that I can come into the summer strong, into the spring, summer, fall season strong, so that I can push 6 to 10 miles a day with, over and over again, because I do believe that that's part of the experience.
Mm-hmm.
To me, part of the experience is sneaking up on fish. And Wayne, who we had last week, gives me all the hell because I refuse to use a trolling motor or electronics. I have no electronics on the boat. People ask me, how deep is it? I just put the pole in. I'm like, about yay. But I just love the romance. And we were just talking about this. I love the romance of like the old school experience of sight fishing.
Yep.
Of you see it with you see signs of life, you go there. You move in slowly, you sneak up, fish pops up, you make your shot, and it's all there's something analog and something traditional about that experience.
Yeah.
I of course have an engine on the boat.
I mean, you're right. There is an engine, and it gets us from wherever you meet us, tell us to meet you, to wherever you're fishing.
Right.
And then from that point on, unless you're like, hey, this area is not producing, I don't see anything, we're gonna get down, we're gonna motor somewhere. You don't really use that motor. I mean, it is all pole.
It is, yeah. When we're fishing, it's all pole. We'll make 5, 10, 15-mile runs on the engine, but it's point A to point B. We're not moving around on it or hunting on it. We just would spook every fish.
Yeah.
So the engine's there to get us quickly from fishing spot to fishing spot, but usually we cover most of the water when we're fishing all on the pole.
Yeah.
Something about this picture to me looks right. I don't know what it is. But
it's calm, it's peaceful, it's an enjoyable shot. I mean, you could just see like your buddy there, Juan, I believe his name, right?
Yeah.
You could he's looking, you're looking. It almost your dog is looking like, I know there's a fish there. I know there is.
She loves to lick fish. She's a maniac. There's one.
That's a great, beautiful fish.
Beautiful fish. There's one. He's just such an amazing angler. It's just awesome to see him fish.
So you said he's from Miami. Does he fish down there as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So his fisheries, tarpon, permit, bones,
Reds,
right? Yeah,
and snook and jacks.
Wow,
he loves his jacks. He's a fun guy to talk to about that fishery because he knows it so well, and he also does a lot of travel fishing.
Okay.
We should talk to him a little bit. He does. We'll get him on someday.
Okay.
He does a lot of travel fishing and has been to really remote areas in Mexico and like Belize and Central South America, and he does all this really fun,
experience type stuff. Yeah.
He's been all over. He's been a really good friend, and I have a tough day and I call him, man, it was so hard today. I can't believe how hard it was. And just to good dude to have on the boat. But he's been up now 2 times this year, and we've done fair. He hasn't experienced the best days out here, but he has experienced fine days.
Right, which is good.
Yeah.
And then this guy seems to somehow catch a fish all the time. I don't know how he does that.
That's not true, man. I wish I fished more.
That is the problem. As a guide, you don't fish more. And there are many times I'm with him, like, throw a line. You're like, no, Matty, I got to keep working. I'm like, no, you don't have to keep
No,
working.
but when every time you're like throw a line, it's like we have a school right over there, man, and you're hooked up, and you're like throw a line. I'm like, if I throw a line, we lose the school, man. I have to keep on them. You want to catch it? If I throw a line, you don't get another.
I know, I know, but I'm sometimes willing to take that risk because you do put me on fish like that.
Look at this guy.
I mean, look at that. I mean, that is a great fish.
It's a beautiful fish.
You know.
Look how tall he is.
Yeah.
That fish is just tall.
And that white bottom.
Oh, that belly is so pretty. And the pictures just don't do him justice because that fish was pretty gold. I recall that fish. It was pretty golden. So pretty.
And it's just, I mean, but so much fun. And then I want to get, this is ginormous.
Yeah.
Is that pushing 35, 36?
38.
Oh.
Yeah.
On a 9 weight.
8.
8.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at the smile.
Oh, Hannah. Freaking love Hannah on the bow. Hannah, talk about anglers who work hard to get a redfish.
Right.
Hannah grew up in South Carolina. Her dad owned a fly shop at one point. Her dad is an awesome guy. I've talked to him multiple times. Loves to fish, brought her up fishing. She's a phenomenal angler. And for some reason, these fish have just
eluded her.
Wow. Gotten away from her. And I called her and I was like, hey, we have to go like now. Like, do you have any day this week? And we figured out a day and we got out there because I was on a hot bite.
Right.
And I was like, let's get out there now. Let's go. She gets on the bow and I'm like, hey, just so you know, we're going to see a lot of fish today. I just confidently said that to her. And today's the day we break the curse. And she was like, I hope so. She had been out with me 2 times before. Mm-hmm. We had shots. And just something didn't line up in her cast, or the wind would blow the fly off the pattern of the direction and blind the fish, or we would have fish slide in from behind us and leave us behind, like fish that we never saw just move past us, and then we're like, there they go. Just a curse.
And this day was different.
This day was different. I have probably 10. I think she caught like 8 to 10 fish, including this monster,
this is just
in 2 feet of water.
2 feet of water for a 38-inch fish.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, that doesn't even compute. That's incredible.
It was amazing to watch her work that fish, and it worked her for a while. I mean, it was towing the boat. It was. And we had 20-pound leader on, and the water had a good stain on it, so we had a heavy leader, but it was just still nerve-wracking a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because it was just the sheer size of him. I was like, Hannah, that's the biggest fish we've put in shallow water this year on the boat.
That's insane. And if you look, you can actually see to the lower right of the fish's mouth how shallow that water is. You can see the bottom. That's incredible, right? So the pictures, show that. All right. So the next picture I'm going to bring up, we're going to have a story about, because I hired you, and we're all friends with this one guy, Ron Binstock.
Yeah.
And Ron started fly fishing a year ago, right? And honestly thinks his skills are horrible. Like, just absolutely degrades himself in terms of fly fishing. And so purposely, when we came on the boat,
very avid spin angler.
Very avid. I mean, right. Purposely, you left the spin rod at home. Because a lot of times, if you have 2 guys on the boat, one fly fishes, if somebody hooks up, it's easier just to flip a spin rod out. And this way, there's not crazy. Because it's tough to cast, when there's. Yeah. Right. But you said, ain't happening. So Ron gets there in the morning. He goes, yeah, Simón, I didn't bring my spin rod. He goes, yeah, neither did I. And Ron was like, what? And he goes, and you were like, I'm going to make you go for these fish on the fly rod. And you did. And there's the result.
He caught 2, right?
Yes.
And big fish. It was his personal best, and it was on the fly.
Right.
So it was that was a deliberate move. I always carry a spin rod on the boat, but I knew that if I carried a spin rod that day,
He would jump to it.
and you know, he messed up the first shot he had.
Yes.
He messed up the first shot he had. He got buck fever, and he was like, "Oh my god, I've never seen anything like that." And I'm like, "Isn't it amazing?" He's like, "Yeah, there were like 20 reds just underneath the boat," and I was like, "It's pretty cool, huh?" And I feel like that is the moment where I was like, "Okay, I feel like I made a little bit of a mean move."
No.
But I feel like it was the right move.
I think he appreciated it. I know for a fact he appreciated it. 100% appreciated
And then, you know, we gave him another shot. He hooked up,
Yep.
landed this really, really beautiful copper, like
it. Yeah.
stunning redfish. And it was great, you know?
If I remember 31-ish, maybe something in that range.
About that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it looks to be that.
yeah, I mean, it was a great first fish on a fly rod. Like that's first fish on a fly rod, red fishing. That's a killer land. I think mine with you last year was like 21, and I was excited. I mean, you know, but but who cares? I mean, you know, because I did something and he did something that he's never done before, and there's something to be said about that.
And in order to get there, y'all had to do something very right.
Right.
Right? Like
Yep.
you had to. They don't just jump on the boat.
No.
They like you have to try.
Right. And, you know, so we saw a pod. You saw the pod. We then, by the time we got closer, we saw it. He, you know, and you're like, it's 75 feet. And Ron's like, I don't know if I had that. You're like, and you like had it, Ron, you have that. Stop, you know, second guessing it. And he laid it out there. He was on the edge. He stripped, came tight. And the next thing I heard him say is, Matty, I'm in my backing. Yes, Ron, you're in your, because there's open water for this fish
They
to
can go wherever.
Exactly.
No, that was a great day. And we managed to stay on the school for a little bit and pop a few. Yeah,
We did. Yeah, no, it was really fun, you know. I mean, it was just awesome.
that was a great day. And fall fishing, you know, I think that was probably June when we did this day.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
Fall fishing is similar to that.
gotcha.
You still have that water clarity. This is later in the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this was August.
Yep.
And the water is a lot murkier, and you know
Yeah.
the fish move a little slower, and they do spread out a little more. But this guy's 6'4" and weighs size 14 shoes, and his hands are huge. This is a big fish. It just doesn't look that big compared to my man. But this was a 33, 34 inch fish. This is a really gorgeous fish.
That's a great fish.
I recall. It's funny how you recall these. Like you pull up these pictures, and I'm like, yeah, I know exactly where we caught that fish.
Right.
I remember the time of the tide. Like it just, and that's what I love about this. It's all so memorable. Every single fish that we catch shallow or that we see turn on the fly, like those fish just get engraved in in my memory, at least. I don't know other people,
So
but
I think if it's memorable for you, imagine what it is for the person on the other side of the fly rod.
Yeah.
Right? That's because if you remember, I remember everything about the trips that I've been on with you.
Yeah.
You know, every single thing. So I mean, it's extremely memorable. And that's, you know, to steal a line from Parney from the Squirrels, you are in the business of making memories.
There you go.
That is the line. I mean, that's what you do, right? I mean, that's why we take pictures.
that's the goal.
Yeah.
Also, huge guys. These were two of Wayne's friends.
These are the ones Wayne said that.
No.
Oh, these are
were-
not the. Okay.
No, the one on the right was the little guy on the day before.
Okay, got it.
He's 6'3", 6'4", 290 some. Dude's shoulders are like that. They're just huge.
Wait, show that
shoulders.
again. Go ahead.
Like
Dude.
that. There's a really funny picture. Me standing next to those two guys. I look like their child. I just look like their son. Like I just look like a little kid. And Wayne was like, "No, you're not gonna push these guys around, man. They're like, we're adding 600 plus pounds to your boat." And I'm like, "Yeah." Boat's 750, so between the three of us, we weigh more than the boat. I thought it was perfect. I was like, we're going to get it done. And it was like, you're crazy. And I was like, yes, I am. But I love the challenge of having these big old meat sail boys. And I will say this guy on the right of this picture, and I have become really good friends, and I'm just incredibly grateful to Big Murph because he's been just such a joy. I had him on the boat 2 days in a row, and such a joy to fish with him. And he's such an amazing, like top level angler,
Right.
Just top, like absolute, manages his line well, is aware of his surroundings, can see fish, lays those casts perfect. That fly line doesn't splash. It's just
Everything is
oh,
what you
it's
want
just like clockwork with that guy. And he lives in Colorado, and I just have developed a really nice friendship with that guy. He's been shout out to Big Murph. They call him Big Murph.
Big Murph.
Or Mr. Refrigerator is another one of his nicknames.
At 6'3", 290. Yeah. I mean, that's
big guy.
That's a big guy.
And that was the little guy that I had on the day before.
That's
the other guy
unbelievable.
made him look like a little guy.
That's funny. Hey, so you keep mentioning fall redfish. Let's talk about the time of the season, like September, October, November, December. I mean, what is fall redfish?
It depends on how long you hold out that good weather for me.
Okay, yep.
So, December starts to get pretty cold.
Okay.
If we have a warm beginning to December, we can push into December pretty well. I book confidently through Thanksgiving.
Through Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all of November, I'm very confident in our ability to get on fish and see a lot of fish. It has its challenges. But it's good. It's just so good. That we had last year. We had low tide tailors through October. We had high tide tailors early October. November was good. We had schools. Moving into creeks, which is really nice if we have a wind.
Because you can duck in.
We can tuck in so many places, and those fish are gonna be over like starting to get over muddy bottoms in schools, and like in smaller, closer quarters. So it opens up more days
Gotcha.
that we can go out because we can find lees more easily. So a lot of things get simpler. A lot of things, particularly on the fishing end, the presentations have to be more delicate.
Right.
Leaders have to be longer, lighter. Colors are lighter because the water's so beautiful. Clear. It's just you see that grass at the bottom, and it's just you can make out whatever grass it is. You can see little things in the water. You can count the spots on the tail of the fish. So I love fall red fishing. I think the fall pattern really starts like mid to late September.
Okay.
Is where we start to see those fall patterns. We start to see a lot of tailors that time of year if we have big tides or very low tides.
Right.
Both of those will produce
Big
tailors.
tides bring them inside the grasses. Low tides, they're staying in the flats, but the water's now lower. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we call those low tide tailors belly crawlers.
Okay.
It's more belly crawling than tailing was what they're doing. They're just in like 5 inches of water, just barely eyes and nose underwater, and their heads are out. It's really cool. So it's just super cool. They're also seeking that shallow stuff because the sun is reflecting heat on like sand. Very often.
Sand is water. Right. Water,
And
I
the
should say.
sand, and then you see them laid up on sand, and it's just gin clear water over sand. You think you're bone fishing. I mean, it's just gin clear water. The sighting situation is just so visceral. It's just like, oh my God, yes, that is in fact a redfish without any question.
That's awesome.
I can see his name tag. That's Billy, and that's Bobby, and but it makes it super exciting, and I just absolutely. And then you also have a good amount of schools moving into creeks, so it changes quite a bit. We're not on big wide open water as much.
Right.
We still do a little bit of that, but as November creeps in, we're more over mud.
Okay.
Which is clear, but the bottom is muddy. The only
Gotcha.
mud that's getting picked up is by me on the pole.
Oh, gotcha.
Or if you see a bunch of mud move around, you have a bunch of fish.
Fish moving, right? Because you get to make the mud plumes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it makes them relatively easy to track.
Okay.
So lots of fun things, and I think for most people, fall is their favorite time to redfish. I don't think it's the best. I don't think there's a best time.
Okay.
I just think they're all so different that some situations, like summer, is better for the angler who has the better eyes but not as strong a cast or precision.
Right.
Spring is going to be good for the angler who wants the schools. Fall really rewards the angler who has the cast and the just finesse and composure. Some of our best days and the craziest things we see are in fall. But those fish can see a mile away. I mean, they're looking through glass. That water is just glass.
Right. If we're seeing them, they're seeing back. Right. Exactly.
Right.
That
So
makes sense.
and we saw this the other day. The water cleared up a bit, and we were in a bunch of singles. I mean, one of the most epic
Singles day.
singles day I've ever had. Over 100 shots.
Wow.
And the water cleared up, and we were seeing the fish spook at the movement of the rod. The guy would at about 45 feet, he would pick up the rod,
and
the
they
fish
see the
would
shadow of gone. Wow.
So things like that begin to happen more and more.
Right.
So it's stealth, quiet. Just you have to stay very cool, and the nicer the conditions get, the clearer the water, the clearer the sky, the lesser the wind,
Yep.
the less the noise the wind is making,
Yeah.
the harder it becomes for us to actually catch one. Very doable, but it gets technical.
Yeah. And that's a great challenge for an advanced to expert angler. You really want to test your skills,
The beauty of it is that those days also give us a lot of schools. So
So you can play both games.
It gives you the best of all worlds.
I see. Okay.
And that's fall fishing. I mean,
Right.
fall fishing it's the best.
So-
I mean, it's
Funny,
not the best.
You start off by saying, I don't know if there's the best. You just said it's the best.
Oh,
So you enjoy it the most.
I enjoy it the
because
most.
it gives you two different options for the client.
Right, and the visual aspect,
Yeah.
which I think is a lot of what I sell,
Right.
is a very visual experience.
Yep.
And that's, I think, what gets ingrained in our memory.
Mm-hmm.
The visual aspect of it is just incredible.
Yep.
That's the exciting part of it. You're not guessing if that fish ate subtly. You saw him eat
You
subtly.
saw him eat. Yeah. And it's not always subtle. He
So but then sometimes it's so subtle you
Oh,
don't
really?
feel it.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, with
I've
those
not
singles.
experienced that. That's why.
Oh, with those singles, you put that fly here. By the time it gets here, they go.
Maybe.
And they just turn on it and slowly they just go. And then you're on,
Right. And now it's game on.
and now it's game on.
Right.
But
Don't trout
again,
set.
the other day, we were having that experience with those singles, and the guy I had on the bow would see them eat slowly, make perfect presentation. And they would turn and they would do this, and he would strip it out of their mouth as they were eating because he saw them finally make that final
Move. And so he's yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, he ate.
Yep.
He was eating."
Yeah. He was in the process. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So when should clients start booking you for fall? I'm assuming right now.
Right now,
Yeah.
I have a good amount of availability.
Okay.
Not infinite, but I'm booked a few times every week.
Sure.
2 to 3 days every week, from now till Thanksgiving. But I usually I'm trying to run 4 to 5 days a week, so I have 2 to 3 pretty much. So there is a bit of flexibility right now. I feel like the summer has been so good that the spring and summer has been so good that the people who wanted to get out in the fall, I just called them up and I was like, "You have to come now."
Right.
So I feel like it opened up a little bit of a later season for me, which I'm excited about. I'm excited to get hopefully some new people on the boat. I have a lot of regulars,
Sure.
people who come out over and over again, and I absolutely love that. But I would love to see some new faces too. So hopefully someone sees us. And to all the spin anglers, we can do this on spin.
Oh, yeah.
We can do this on spin. It does not necessarily need to be on the fly.
Right.
We can do this just fine on spin. It is not easy on spin. It's still
It's still a quiet presentation. It's making the right cast because a lot of spin anglers will throw for distance, and now they're overshooting the target by a long shot.
the beauty with spin is that you can overshoot quite a ways, and you're not landing line on top of the fish.
Right.
And you're not lining them. So with the presentations for spin, and this is something I've been working on for the last few years, is how do we do this on spin? Because I don't necessarily need to be a fly fishing guide.
Mm-hmm.
I do love
You want to be a red fishing guide,
Correct.
redfish guide, I should say.
and sight fishing specifically. But what tool you use to do it, I've seen people work a spin rod better than anyone I've seen work a fly rod, and I've seen people work a fly rod better than anyone else. So
Right.
I think they both take a good amount of skill, and I think that it's rewarding in different manners. With the spin rod, we do actually overshoot because we don't want to splash the lure near them.
Right.
We want to bring it to them.
To them. That makes
So
sense.
it's a different approach, and I've been working on my setup to do that properly. We have to use really lightweight lures,
Mm-hmm.
so the casts are still not. I mean, we can get it done at 80 feet,
Right.
90 feet, 100 feet, with a little more ease. So we can keep our distance a little more, but at the end of the day, it's still, relatively close range. It's still visual. We can still see the movement. We can still see the fish. And if they want it closer, I can give it closer, We can always risk it for the visual experience a little bit.
Let me bring up your website here so people know exactly where to go. Of course, we're talking currentculturefly.com, and on the bottom left, you can see the request trip. Go ahead,
Matty,
Simón. Yeah.
Right there, that picture,
Yeah.
that's
a fall.
November 3rd.
Yeah.
That's November 3rd, 2023.
Look at how clear that water is. That's what you were saying. It is absolutely crystal clear. But if you can see them, they can see you.
It's just gin, right? Like
Yeah.
it is just as clear as can be. I'm excited. I have this woman on this picture on the bow of the boat coming up in the next couple of weeks, and she's another person who has worked super hard for it and deserves a good fish. She's there now. She wasn't there. She's there.
She's there now.
I'm super excited to get her out.
Just go down and request the trip and then go into the trip category. And then all the way down, you're going to see Simón sight fishing the flats for redfish and drum. So much fun. Simón, I also want to talk about something else here because you have your classes coming up. And yeah, this is going to be a big thing here. And this class, absolutely your two favorite classes, October 19th and 26th. This is the on-site inshore saltwater class. Talked about it a little bit last week with Wayne. Let's expand on this. I'm going to give you the floor here. Talk about this class.
Yeah, so we just have a few seats left each day. So if you do want in, hurry up and get them. These classes are an intermediate to advanced level class. We are not teaching you how to cast. We are not teaching you how to make knots. We're not teaching you the bare basics. We are here year round to teach you those things. This class is an on-site how to target the 3 species of the saltwater inshore Chesapeake slam. That's striped bass, red drum, and speckled trout. We have an amazing team assembled, all pretty much specializing in one of those species.
Right.
But we all touch on each other's species, right? So
Yeah, just because you chase redfish doesn't mean you don't know how to go after stripers and speckled trout.
But
then you have Wayne, who's a speckled trout master, who also does some redfish.
we also have Keegan and Reed.
who are striper kings. Right.
So wherever there's a gap to fill, shoot, I feel like I learned so much teaching that class every single time. To me, it's a learning experience. I put the class together, I write it, and we get there, and I give everybody their binders, and the information, the concrete principles of what we're doing are all the same. The details of how we go about it, all of us, are a little different because we're working a little bit different water.
Right.
So I'll start presenting on Red Drum, and I'll present side by side with Keegan and Reed and with Wayne, who all have Red Drum in the systems that they're working, especially in the fall. Keegan and Reed have an amazing striped bass program for the fall. We touch on each other's subject, and for all of us, like, there's certain days where we have the right angler and the right conditions where we're like, we're gonna get a slam today.
Right.
That's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna get all three. And the Chesapeake Slam is getting all three inshore species in one day. So we're gonna get all three today. So we all touch on each other's
Right.
world, but we all kind of also have a focus. Wayne is selling speckled trout in short trips.
Yep.
Right? So that's kind of his forte. He leads that part of the presentation for an hour. I lead the redfish part of the presentation. Reed and Keegan lead the striped bass part of the presentation. And then we all argue about
What the better fish is.
how you should catch them. Or like, because we presented with different situations, right? So Reed and Keegan in the fall are fishing deep for striped bass. When I'm looking to get a slam, I'm looking for, they're looking for 10, 12 feet. I'm looking for, I got a point over there that on hard current holds a few here and there.
Gotcha.
And it's 4 feet deep there. We're just going to go work it for a few minutes. If we pop a striper, great. If not, we're going to move on to another point and continue to chase reds or something. But so those situations are very different.
Yeah.
And I find that I can be pretty effective at catching a fish in the way that I do.
Right.
But I wouldn't lead a guided trip that way for that species. And that's where we all begin to argue about, hey, this works, this works. If you find in this situation, this works. Wayne, stained water, James River, this works. Right. Oh, clear water, flats, October, this works. And somewhere in the middle of it is the truth. I don't know where. But we argue pretty good in that class. Every year is just, I think Wayne throws flies that are too big. He thinks I throw flies that are too small. Reed and Keegan are throwing flies that are too heavy. They think I'm throwing flies that are too light.
It is what it is, but it all works. And as a client sitting in the class, I'm absorbing all this information, and it allows me to target different species, have an understanding about their habitats, what to look for, tides, moon phase, winds, sunlight, low light, high, that kind of thing. And it gives me a big background. And then I think the thing that I also like that you've talked about you do is you then show access points, whereas someone like me who doesn't have a boat can still access and go after any of those species.
Correct. Yeah. So we run the classes. Thank you for nailing that, by the way. That's what the class is a deep understanding of what these fish do through the seasons at different points and how we target them.
Right.
We also touch on like current, wind, tide, because those are all not the same thing. They all build up to an end result. How bait moves, how when shrimp are in, when they're not in, who's eating the crabs and when and where. So we really nail down the theory of how to chase these fish. And then we move on to our practical portion of the class, which is a half-day guided trip that has education at its forefront rather than hospitality. Like I don't necessarily need to as your teacher, I don't need to make you that happy.
Okay.
As your guide, I do.
Right.
Right? I'm showing you a good time. This is hospitality business. I understand that.
Yep.
I'm going to correct one or two things here and there, give you a couple of tips. Hopefully that makes a difference. But I just want you to enjoy your day out on a guided trip. On a day like the class, I really want you to learn.
Yes.
And I'm going to give you as much feedback as you are willing to take, as you allow me to give you.
Sure.
So that's the main difference. So on that class, we go out of these areas that we are comfortable telling people, you can take out an inflatable tube and go fish this area just fine, or wade. We do give some of, they're pretty obvious access points. We're not necessarily like
Give them the high secrets, right?
They're not high secrets, but because they're so accessible, they're well known, and we show you those places so that you can go and get it done on your own. You're not gonna find an empty flat like you and I have found.
Sure.
In these places, but you're gonna find the ability to get it done on a canoe, on a kayak, on your feet, and it's, to me, that's a very exciting proposition to an angler.
Yeah.
You know, living in Richmond, people drive 3 hours to catch 12-inch trout.
Absolutely.
They could drive
an hour and 20 minutes to catch 30-inch redfish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's not a thing that people associate with fly fishing.
Because when they see big fish saltwater, they immediately think big boat out.
Yeah.
They don't know about what is literally right against the middle peninsula, the lower peninsula, and the northern neck. I mean, there's incredible, and I had no idea until you showed it to me.
Yeah.
I mean, and I do weather for a living where I stare at maps all day. But until you're standing, on a boat in the water, and I'm like, Simone, is this really like 6 inches deep? You're like, yeah, it's 6 inches deep.
And it's straight sand.
It's crazy.
And you can walk for miles.
It's wild. It's wild.
And there's just I wouldn't say that those places are plentiful, and I think that part of their charm is that they are hard to get to.
Right.
And that's what keeps them relatively pristine. But there are places that you can access that are beautiful and fun and have a lot of fish. There's one place that is probably the best fishery in the state for saltwater year round, and it is the easiest place to access. The only reason I don't guide there is because it's too busy.
There's 1,000 people there. Right. Sure.
But if you want to wade, get up early and beat the crowd.
Right.
And that's a great place to go.
Yeah.
There's always really great fish in there, and
Very fun.
We try to make these classes happen in places that are accessible for the angler that doesn't own a boat. And always, if you don't own a boat, you can always hire a guide.
That's right. That's an easy way to do it. And I'm talking to one right here and talk to them all the time. So we do got to wrap this up. Once again, Simone, I mean, you're an incredible guest, incredible guide. I'm just pull up the website one more time here. Just remember, go to currentculturefly.com and request a trip. Again, fall redfish right now. He'll always say, don't forget about Keegan and Reed and Wayne. They're doing stuff as well, so book them. But I know if you want to experience some highly fun and technical fishing, fall redfish is the thing to do, and really enjoy every minute of it. So,
it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait.
and I'm going to give you great weather.
That's what I need.
That's all I'm doing. I'm just giving you
no more hurricanes.
No more. I'm done. Done with hurricanes.
Thanks, Matty.
Of course. Once again, my guest today has been Captain Simón Valencia of Current Culture Fly. Fall red fishing. It is the thing to do. And see the glass water, go out there, see the tailors, and hit them up. We'll see you again next time. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Off the Hook with Matty D.
You're too kind.